Добрий день, я вітаю всіх.
Good afternoon. I want to thank everybody who joins us. My name is Ola Tamanova, and I'm happy to see all of you joining us here in Ukraine Media Center, Ukraine Forum. Today's day 460 of the full-scale invasion of our homeland by Russian occupier. Today, there was a signal of air raid alert both in the night and this day all across the country, and now we will be talking about the situation in Dnipropetrovsk region. Joining us online is Mykola Lukashuk, the head of Dnipropetrovsk Regional Council, deputy chair of Dnipropetrovsk Regional Defense Council. Good afternoon, Mr. Mykola. Good afternoon, Mr. Mykola. There were news yesterday on the media that Dnipropetrovsk suffered a missile strike too. So can you tell us about the situation and the consequences? Is the Pokrovska community of Sinelnikov district, which borders on Zaporizhia and Donetsk regions, it's all nearby. At about 11:28, 11:30, there was a shelling of two settlements. One building was destroyed to the ground in one of the villages. The 19 more were damaged in another community. 11 more buildings were damaged, plus one completely destroyed. So 2 buildings destroyed completely and 30 damaged to a different degree. There was a child of 2 years injured and a woman born 1872 who died. So in total we had 9 injured, including one child born 2011. Now State Emergency Service is working there on putting out the fire. Everybody is provided the basic medical assistance. So this is the situation with the shelling. So talking about the situation with the strike on the hospital in Dnipro, what is the summary of the rescue operation that was going on there? What are the consequences? Well, there were 4 casualties, 32 injured. 13 out of those 32 are still in the hospitals. The deputy council of the region approved the amendments to the social program, and we helped the denizens of Dnipro when the missile was incoming to Peremoki Avenue, and all of the people now may address the municipal administration for a disbursement in amount of 300,000 hryvnias for the families of those who perished. Well, terrible consequences. But what are the targets of the enemies now? Previously they were targeting our critical infrastructure facilities. What do you observe for the time being? Let's be honest, the strike on Dnipro was a complete terror. During the day everybody is at work, everybody is going to work. Even if you open the Google Maps, which is being updated all the time constantly, you see that there were no military targets nearby. The preliminary assessment is that it was a high precision missile, Iskander missile, which is a ballistic missile. And again, this is a complete terror because there is not a single facility nearby that can be called a military facility or a critical infrastructure facility. And talking about the community of Sinelnikov district, no factories, no industrial facilities or facilities of critical infrastructure are located there. It's a rural area. Well, talking about the consequences of the strike on the hospital in Dnipro, what do you understand? Were people able to go to the shelter, or did they have too little time for that? Well, nobody actually made it to the shelter because the strike by a ballistic missile, it is quite complicated. It can be only downed with a Patriot air defense system, and unfortunately it was incoming, and now we understand the scale of destruction, and it resulted in death of people who were just staying nearby. So what's the situation with the critical infrastructure in the region? Does everything keep operating? Critical infrastructure keeps operating. The medical facilities work to provide medical help to the denizens of our region and everybody who's coming to us from Donetsk region, from Luhansk region. There is a huge number of people coming to us from Zaporizhia region as well. the lion's share of the population of the occupied part of Kherson region. They now come to the hospitals of Kryvyi Rih, where they are being assisted to the extent necessary. So we have water, power, and heat supply. Everything is in place. Just like we said in the beginning of the war, the roads are passable, the situation is under control in the region, everything is fine. If we have questions on the floor, dear colleagues, please go ahead. Thank you, Olga Panasenko, Ukrinform. A question about the Friday attack on Dnipro. Do you have information about the veterinary clinic which suffered from that strike? Was it possible to rescue people and the animals? Well, the scale of destruction is very substantial. There, everything is out of operation now. The 20 private houses were damaged, along with the number of apartment blocks nearby, with all the information that we have about the injured and those killed. It's about the people who were in that clinic or nearby. So now the clinic is out of operation. The cats and dogs, we don't have, or any other animals, we don't have any information about them. So that's pretty much it. Mr. Mykola, getting back to the previous strike, we remember there was a strike on the rescue unit. Were we possible to recommission that unit to upgrade the material which was damaged? Well, the work is underway. I think that the works will be fulfilled at cost of the State Emergency Service of Ukraine, because a big number of vehicles which were there, well, in that spot there was very significant destruction, and according to the reports of the regional head of State Emergency Service, the vehicles will be coming from other regions. Well, you'd better double check this information with the State Emergency Service, but at the level of the municipal council, we're looking for a facility to locate our State Emergency Service personnel which used to work in that spot. Thank you very much for joining our broadcast. I'm reminding you, joining us was Mykola Lukashuk, the head of Dnipropetrovsk Regional Council. So stay tuned, work together for our victory. Thanks to our armed forces, we have this opportunity. Thanks to our air defense forces who are on guard of our skies on a daily basis. And glory to Ukraine.